Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? All right. A lot of you have sent me your work, which is great, but some of you still need to do that. So please take pictures of those worksheets, your quiz, and your test and get them to me ASAP. Thank you. All right. So today we're going to be doing 7.6. 7.6 is a combination of graphing lines and graphing inequalities. So the concept is nothing new. All right. You're going to take one line at a time and you're going to graph it on the plane. But in this case, we're going to be shading. Whenever you have an inequality, a less than or a greater than, you're going to be shading. All right. Some of you forgot to do that on the quiz. All right. So the thing you have to remember when you're graphing a system of inequalities is that you will be drawing your line. So when you draw your line, okay, now we go. I got to get my pencil writing. Sorry about that. Okay, so when you're drawing the line, you need to remember that if you have a less than or a greater than, you will be using a dashed line. If you have a less than or equal to, or a greater than or equal to, then your line will be solid. Okay? Less than is below, greater than is above or to the left, to the right, etc. Okay? So, first we have to draw the line x equals 5. Well, that's a vertical line. So we go over to where x equals 5, which is right here. And now we have to draw a vertical line. But before we draw the line, we have to decide if it's going to be dashed or if it's going to be solid. The inequality is less than. So that means we're going to dash that line. Okay? Now, we have to shade. X is less than 5. Where does x get smaller? On the x-axis as it moves to the left. So that would be all of this, all of these points to the left. Now, usually I'm going to just, so it would be all of this, okay? And it would continue. Second line. The second line is x is greater than -4. Again, we go to where x is -4. We know we have a vertical line, so again, up and down. The inequality is greater than, so it's a dashed line because the points on the line aren't part of the solution set. And where do the values of x get larger? As it goes to the right. So all of these points in between, all of them, okay, are the answer. All of these. So you see where they intersect. If you had some points that went, see how those go, they actually keep going this way for the less than, okay? And for the greater than, they would actually keep going this way, all right? But your solution is where they overlap. Your solution is where they overlap. So you can either darken that or shade it with a different color, or just really darken it in, or just go back actually and erase the lines that aren't part of the solution. okay? Your solution are all the points inside here because that's where the two lines would overlap, just like on a number line, right? We didn't continue those arrows to the left and to the right. We had to erase them. So it's the same thing here. So your solution is those set of points that are all yellow. All right. Number 2. Okay. Number 2 is y is greater than -4. So y is greater than -4 is a horizontal line. Okay, so horizontal. This one doesn't work that good. Let's try this one. So horizontal. So we're going to go to where y is -4. That's right here. Okay, there we go. Y is -4. Then that's a horizontal line. But before I draw it, I have to go up and look. It's greater than, so that means my line is going to be dashed. So you're going to dash that line. Where does y get bigger? As it moves up the axis. So all those points going up. I usually just draw a little line telling me so that I don't have to erase later, okay, or not erase a lot. So now my second equation is y is less than -2x plus 10. So it's already solved for y. So I know my slope is -2, and I know my b is 10. Okay, that's great because it's not on there, but that's okay. We'll do it. All right, so we would go up to 10. Let's just say it's here. Okay, all right. And then we would use our slope to go down to over 1, down to over 1. Okay, I'm going to actually find a ordered pair. If x equals 1, then y equals 8. So here, down 1 over 2. If x equals 2, then y equals 6. So that would be about here. Okay, I'm just plugging in some points in my head since there's no lines there. All right. So, I should have changed my color for this one. Let's go back and change my color. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to connect these points. And again, it's less than, so it's going to be a dotted or dashed line. So we're going to dash that. And you have to make sure that your lines, I'm going to extend this one a little bit so that you can see where they would meet. Okay, and now we have to graph, shade, I should say. So shading is less, so we are going to shade below. So we're going to shade this way. So notice where they're going to intersect. They're going to intersect all in here. That one's going down and this one's going up. So this is where all of these points, that's what this means. It means all of these points in here satisfy those two inequalities. So that's your solution, okay? Not these points because they didn't overlap, all right? Good. Let's do the last one. So the last one has a lot of work, okay, or more work. We first have to solve for y, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is solve for y, all right? So we're going to subtract 7x from both sides, and we're going to get y is greater than or equal to negative 7x plus 0. So m equals negative 7 and b equals 0. Now we have to solve the next equation for y. So we're going to subtract 3x, and we get negative 2y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 5. Now we have to divide by negative 2. Ding, ding, ding. When we divide by a negative number and there's an inequality, we need to flip that inequality. Okay? So then it's y is greater than or equal to, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and a positive divided by a negative is a negative, so 5 over 2. Remember that 5 over 2 equals 2.5. Okay? All right, so our slope is 3 over 2, and our b is 2.5 or 2.5. Now we have to graph each of these lines. Okay? So I'm going to graph this one first because I have that same color on my pen right now. So 2.5 is your y-intercept. So go up 2 and then halfway between 2 and 3. So your point is here. Now you're going to go up 3. So 2.5 plus 3 is 5.5. And then you're going to go over 2. So about here. Now remember, we can also go down. Okay? So if you're at 2.5 and you go down 3, you're at negative 0.5. And then you're going to go over 2 to the left. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now we have to draw our line. So we're going to draw our line. It's greater than or equal to. Solid line. And where are we going to shade? Above. So solid line. And again, just going to do a few little lines to show me where it goes. Now I'm going to draw the first line that we did. B is 0. So we go to the origin. And our slope is negative 7. Okay. I'm going to go up 7 and left 1. Go up 7, so 5, 6, 7, and left 1 is going to be here. Or you can go down 7. Okay. Which would be here, and right 1. So about there. Now again, we have to decide what we have to do for our line. So we have greater than or equal to, solid line, and we're going to shade above because it's greater than. So solid line, and shade above. So above would be this way. So you can see where that's going to be overlapping. That's going to be overlapping right in here. That's where the 2 lines would docken in. So that's your answer. Again, if you docken it in, you can, but I always just, there we go. All right. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you on Zoom later to answer any questions you may have.